Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 8 of the anime series, Akuma no Riddle. And this was definitely a strange episode because, for the most part, they're setting up this as a first part to maybe a 2 or 3-parter as we're nearing the last stretch of episodes for this series. And the assassins in Class Black that we're following, Inukai and Banba, respectively, it's just very strange how we're seeing them depicted in this episode. We're getting a little bit of their histories and everything like that. Inukai especially has a weird thing with this guy who killed her parents, and I was really reminded with their backstory, for those familiar with Metal Gear Solid, of the Gray Fox Naomi situation where, he killed her parents and sort of became her guardian and caregiver and that kind of thing. Although this guy definitely through and through doesn't seem redeemable, who took care of Inukai and I guess was trying to mold her into his, successor in a sense. It's just very strange what we're seeing. Of course, we're also seeing the group conglomerate that's created Class Black and this whole mission to kill Haru and testing all these assassins. And there's this one point where they make mention of this, excellent Queen Bee candidate reference in their appraisal of either Takaku or Haru. And I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it does kind of hint at the speculation that all of this is being put on because they're ultimately trying to test someone. Maybe they're trying to weed out of all these assassins someone who is the top tier of the utmost power for some ends, either to lead their conglomerate. Maybe it's the creation of a successor, much as it was with Inukai's sort of history with this guy she's with. It's just very confusing. A lot of different aspects didn't quite mesh in this episode. Again, setting up whatever's to come in the following. The main crux of this, of course, sees the two assassins, Inukai and Banba, respectively, actually pulling a pretty fast ruse on Takaku, and that, she thinks Banba's the one who's going to be making just a singular attack on Haru, but in fact, she ends up completely ambushed by Inukai, and there's a point where, Inukai's almost telegraphing her movements in their battle with each other. She ends up slicing Takaku's arm to her surprise, and she's really mulling over what could that mean? How is she predicting my movements? And she's calling back on not only her previous encounter with Inukai, but there's also mention, from Neo in this episode about maybe there's some truth to this otherworldly spirits and ghosts and, communing beyond the tangible world and all this kind of thing. And I almost have to wonder if that's how Inukai and Banba set this up. Maybe there's some kind of psychological communication going on between them. I'm not entirely sure. That might be a stretch of the imagination for this particular series. It's just very strange how everything's stacked up. Of course, Inukai makes her play against Takaku specifically because she knows Takaku, that's the biggest revelation in this episode. Takaku is pretty much a virgin killer in that she has not taken lives, though her clan is very notorious for their bloodthirstiness. She has yet to actually kill anyone, apparently, and that was actually a pretty shocking revelation, but one that falls into her character. She's trying to protect Haru, and of course, while, Inukai has Takaku cornered, well, there comes Banba, coming into the room where she left Haru, it's basically to skulk behind, and I also have to note, it was almost heartbreaking to see, Haru's reaction to the fact that Takaku basically told her, you're a drag, you're a burden on me in this, you're just going to get in the way, I need to stop these assassins from killing you, and she really took that, to heart, almost. It seemed that she was really kind of, saddened by Takaku's abrasiveness in saying that to her, but of course now she's got Banba with this gigantic hammer coming after her, and boom, there's the cliffhanger. So there was a lot of stuff going on in this episode. I didn't make sense of every little last aspect of it, and, with the histories of these characters and the things that just don't make sense, it's like, I want to care, I want to care about what's going on, but not enough of it was really thoroughly explained or fleshed out to the point that I could make sense of it wholeheartedly. I'm kind of having to guess my way through this episode, and I guess we'll see what happens as we pick up in the next with the continuation of where we left off. So, otherwise, that's pretty much all I have to say on this particular episode. I'm still enjoying the series overall, but it's still been kind of hit and miss for me, and yeah, I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.